Since the end of segregation in the US, we've been talking about the attainment gap. We've been studying it, measuring it, writing reports about it, holding conferences about it, but we haven't told the truth about it. Because the truth is, it's not just an attainment gap, it's a culture gap. And until you understand that, you will never solve the problem. Now you go into these schools and you look at these children, black children, bright, intelligent, full of energy when they first walk through those doors. But somewhere along the line, something happens to them. Their confidence erodes, their engagement disappears, their belief in themselves starts to break down. And the system will tell you it's poverty. The system will tell you it's parenting. The system will tell you it's attitude. But I'm here to tell you something different. The system has never truly critiqued itself when it comes to black and brown children. Because what the child is being taught, what the child is being fed every single day is a misrepresentation of their true reality. What they truly need is a trauma informed practice that addresses their unique history. And when you educate a child in a system where their history is hidden, their culture is distorted, and their identity is reduced to suffering, you are miseducating that child. You are conditioning that child. You are conditioning that child to doubt themselves, look down on their history and culture. You are conditioning that child to question their worth, and you are conditioning that child to see themselves through the eyes of a system that was never designed to uplift them. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. Look at the work of Dr. Joy DeGroy. She talks about what she calls post traumatic slave syndrome, a condition rooted in multi generational trauma, passed down through generations, reinforced by ongoing oppression and the absence of healing. And what does that produce? Low self worth, anxiety, internalized inferiority. Now, think about this. If a child already carries the weight of historical trauma, and then you place that child in a classroom where the only thing they learn about themselves is slavery, oppression, marginalization, what do you think you're doing to that child's mind? You're not just teaching them history, you're teaching them how to see themselves. And when a child begins to see themselves as inferior, as disconnected, as less than, you don't need to ask why their grades drop. You don't need to ask why they disengage. The damage is embedded within the curriculum designed to sanitize white supremacy. Because as quiet as it's kept, the curriculum is not neutral. Don't let anybody fool you. The curriculum is ideological. It carries the values of those who don't truly believe in equality. It carries the broken promises of a society that never truly lived up to the articles of its constitution. And in too many cases, it carries a message that says one culture is first and all other cultures are secondary. And when the message is repeated day after day, year after year, it produces exactly what W.E.B. Du Bois warned us about: a divided self, a double consciousness, a child who doesn't know who they are, but knows that the world sees them as less, as inferior, cannot be whole. Now, let me tell you something else. This system is not only harming black children, it is harming white children too. Because when you take a white child and you place them in a system where history is sanitized, where truth is softened, where realities of historical oppression are hidden, And where black culture is either ignored or reduced to stereotypes, you are not educating that child either. You are indoctrinating that child. You are feeding that child a narrative of superiority without ever telling them the truth. And when you feed a child a steady diet of false superiority, you don't produce strength. You produce weakness and a form of psychosis. You produce fragility. You produce individuals who cannot deal with truth, who cannot handle complexity, who cannot function in a diverse world because they have been raised in a control environment disconnected from reality. And the truth is this: when you hide black culture, you distort reality. When you distort reality, you distort understanding. And when you distort understanding, you create division. So, this idea that we are protecting children by limiting the truth, by narrowing the curriculum, by reducing entire histories to a footnote, that is not protection. That is miseducation. And miseducation has consequences. When culture is denied, identity becomes unstable. When identity becomes unstable, self-worth declines. When self-worth declines, mental health suffers. And when mental health suffers, achievement falls. That's not opinion. That's cause and effect. So if you really want to talk about closing the attainment gap, then you need to stop looking at test scores and start looking at culture. You need to ask yourself, what are these children learning about themselves? What are these children being taught to believe about who they are? What are these children being denied? Because education is not just about what you put in a child's mind, it's about what you allow that child to see in themselves. And until we address the culture gap, until we restore truth, restore identity, restore dignity in the classroom, we will keep producing the same results. Different policies, same outcomes. Because you cannot fix a psychological problem with a statistical solution. You have to deal with the root, and the root is culture. Would like to know more about how post-traumatic slave syndrome could be impacting on the African American or African Caribbean students in your school, contact me at culturetransform.com. Purchase a copy of It's Not Just About Grades, It's About Culture to learn more. I would be happy to come into your organization or school to do training for your staff. If you're a parent and you would like to learn more, visit my website at culturetransform.com to learn more.